Good morning, everyone. I hope you are fit and fine. Today, in this video session, we are going to discuss about a motivational poem, The Pilgrim. The Pilgrim is a poem which is in the category of inspirational poems. This poem has a great message for us. We don't know the name of the author or name of the poet. So, we can call that this poem was written by anonymous person. Anonymous means we don't know exactly that who has written this poem. So the poem The Pilgrim is an inspirational poem with a strong message. It tells us about an old man who is unselfish. His strong desire to build a bridge for inexperienced young man, even though he had crossed a ravine successfully. Here, the meaning of pilgrim is very clear. Pilgrim means a person who travels a lot, one who travels from place to place. Such kind of a person called as the pilgrim. Pilgrim is always searching new places. You can call him explorer. So here in this particular poem, we have some of the pilgrims, and these pilgrims are traveling towards the destination, and how this old man who is unselfish was built a bridge for the person who is young and inexperienced. So let's see. Before going to start, as usual, we are going to start with warming up activities. So let's see which kind of the warming activities we have here. I'm going to tell you the answers in ready-made form to save the time. So here we are going to discuss about the warming up activities of the pilgrim. So let's see the first question in warming up activities. So the first question is, what fatal dangers or problems did mankind face centuries ago but are no longer a threat today? यानी कौन से ऐसे डेंजर्स हैं कि जो पहले थे लेकिन अभी इस जमाने में मौजूद नहीं है या फिर वो कहीं पे गुम हो गए हैं, because they were no longer a threat today. So let's see which kind of the fatal dangers we have that time. So centuries ago, mankind was faced fatal problems of so many diseases. So many viruses were there, like coronavirus. That time we don't have the vaccines. Like today we don't have the vaccine for the coronavirus. So that time plague was there, smallpox, many diarrhea was there, cholera is there. So it means so many diseases were there on which we don't have the vaccines at that time. Today we have the vaccines, and these diseases were actually vanished. It means they were no longer existed on the earth. So many problems were there, and that time human beings suffered a lot. Let me tell you the example of plague. प्लेग की अकेले इस बीमारी ने दुनिया के 30% पॉपुलेशन को कम कर दिया था उस वक्त. So it means such kind of the diseases were there and human beings suffered a lot at that time. So, after the discussion on the first question, we're going towards the next one. Name a few scientists, explorers, social reformers, inventors, or discoverers who spent most of their lives to find solutions to some major problems or setbacks that mankind faced. So we all know it very well. The scientists, explorers, social reformers, they're always thinking about the well-being of the society. And these are the people, those who are always thinking about the social problems generally. And they're trying their level best to solve the problems through their great vision. So here we need to discuss or we need to write down some of the names of scientists, maybe explorers, social reformers, inventors, discoverers, those who had done something extraordinary. So I have written here some of the names. The first name here, which I would like to discuss with you, Thomas Alva Edison. Edison, who discovered an electrical bulb. This is the great discovery ever. And after a long struggle, after many or thousands of experiments, he got this success. An electric bulb, electricity is one of the part which is inseparable from human life today. So this person is very important. He was the scientist. The next person who was the explorer, Columbus. Maybe you might heard this particular name. Columbus, who discovered America. Alexander Fleming, who invented penicillin. Penicillin, this is one of the vaccine which is very important. And penicillin, centuries ago, there were no vaccine on it. And this is one of the fatal disease. And Alexander Fleming invented the penicillin, and this is like a boon for the human life. The next person, James Watt, who discovered steam engine. It is before him, nobody knows about steam engines. He invented steam engines, and of course, this is a great discovery of that time. Charles Babbage. Now, today we are learning through the online mode. Today we are using computers, laptops, and so many other kinds of the gadgets. But this person, Charles Babbage, centuries ago, he had invented computers. He has started the invention of computer. So, of course, whatever the discoveries are there, only I had written here only few discoveries and the founder of them. But we all know it very well that today we are living in the age of science, age of information, the age of discoveries. So, so many discoveries are there, and ultimate purpose of the discoveries is what? To save the human labor, or to save or to reduce the efforts of the human beings. So, after the discussion on second question, we're moving towards the third question, which is, did they themselves suffer from those problems or setbacks? So of course sometimes it was happened and they were suffered a lot. I mean these discoverers, these scientists, they were suffered a lot. Their life is full of struggle. We all know it very well that they got the success after so many efforts. So yes, they suffered a lot. That's the answer. Now the last question in question number one, that is D. What inspired them to spend the best part of their lives to research and share their findings? So, whenever they found something, whenever they had invented something, they are always sharing that invention with the people. And due to their greatness, Today we have so many discoveries. These people are unselfish. They're always trying to change the scenario of the world through their vision. That is the great vision they have. And well-being of the mankind always inspired them. It means they're always thinking about the well-being of the society, well-being of their society and their world. And so due to such kind of the great people, today we are living in the age of science, the age of information. So these are the ready-made answers of the warming up activities. You have to solve the warming up activities in your classwork notebook before going to start the poem. Now, after this, we are going to discuss about poetic devices. We all know it very well that this is a poem and it is very necessary to discuss about the poetic devices before going to start. So, here we are going to discuss about poetic devices. So, let's see the first poetic device here we are going to discuss, that is tautology. Tautology, what is the meaning of it? Let's see. If two words in the same line convey the same meaning, the figure of speech in that line is called tautology. It means in the same line, if we are using the same words which are having the same meaning, एक ही सेंटेंस में अगर दो ऐसे वर्ड्स हमने लिखे जिसका मतलब वही है, the same meaning, both the words are conveying. So it means at that time it is called as the tautology. And the example of it, the groaned aches and pains. Here both the words are actually conveying the same meaning, right? After this, we're going towards the next poetic device, which is called as anastrophe or inversion. Tautology, I hope you have understood the meaning of tautology. Here one more example was given. It brought joy and cheer. Joy and cheer. Both consisted the same meaning, both conveying the same meaning, and we had put them together. It brought joy and cheer. So here we have the tautology, anastrophe or inversion. Let me tell you, whenever any one of the poet writing a poem for the poetic effect to create the rhythm, rhyme, he is always using the poetic license. It means according to his or her need, that poet or poetess always using different kinds of the structures. They are using the poetic license. And anastrophe or inversion, this is also the part of poetic license. Poets often change the proper grammatical order of the words in the line of a poem. It means the grammatical order is always changed in order to make the lines rhyme or to emphasize upon something. The figure of speech in such lines is called inversion or anastrophe. An example of it, up came the sun. It means the proper order is what? The sun came up. That is the proper order. But for the poetic effect, to create the rhythm, the poet has used anastrophe and he has used up came the sun. So that is the different grammatical structure we have in front of our eyes. And this is called as anastrophe or inversion. I hope you have understood the concept of anastrophe or inversion. After this, we are going to discuss about interrogation or rhetorical questions. This is not actually new for you. In the previous standard, already you have learned about interrogation and rhetorical questions. So here, let me tell you that rhetorical questions, whenever somebody asking the rhetorical question, he's or she's not expecting the answers from the audience, When a question is asked in order to create a dramatic effect and not to get an answer in a line of the poem, the figure of speech used is called as interrogation or rhetorical questions. So, such kind of the rhetorical questions are very useful in speech writing, and also such kind of the devices used in the poem. For example, here, what is this life? A full of care. So here, poet is not actually asking the question to the audience, but he would like to emphasize the thing that is life. What is this life? A full of care. So whenever you like to emphasize something, that time you can use this particular poetic device, that is interrogation. Have you understood that? So after discussing all the three poetic devices, we'll just discuss about tautology, anastrophe or inversion, and the last one, interrogation or rhetorical question. So after this we are going towards the poem. Let me tell you, we are going to discuss just about the first stanza of the poem. So let's see on page number 13. I hope you had opened page number 13. So let's see the first stanza of the poem. A pilgrim going a lone highway came at evening, cold and grey. A pilgrim going a lone highway. It means this pilgrim is going a lone highway. There is nobody on this road. This road is highway, but nobody was there. And this pilgrim is going towards his destination. Came at evening, cold and grey. So he came at that particular point at the evening time. And of course, evening time cold and grey. Now there were darkness and it's not possible to see the things properly. So he came there at evening, cold and grey, to a chasm, CHASM. The pronunciation of this particular word is chasm, and the meaning of it is ravine, a very deep, steep gap in the earth's surface. So, to a chasm deep and vast and wide. So, here he came there to a deep and vast and wide chasm. Chasm means what? This is a ravine, a gap in the earth, or you can say a very deep and steep gap in the earth's surface. And when he reached there, he saw that this is very dangerous to cross this chasm. So that time, the old man, it means the age of this pilgrim is so, and he was an old man, and the old man crossed in the twilight dim. So this old man was a very experienced kind of the pilgrim, and he's always handling such kind of the problems in his life. So when he reached there, he's trying his level best to cross this chasm. And of course, this is a very dangerous kind of a task for him. But still, he's managed to cross this twilight, to cross this, to cross this chasm in the twilight of the night. And he was successful. The chasm held no fear for him. It means due to his experience, he was not afraid to cross this chasm in the night. So the chasm held no fear for him. But he paused when he reached the other side. It means this person, when he was reached to the other side of the chasm successfully, he stopped there. Why he was stopped there? Let's see. But he paused when he realized the other side, sorry, when he reached the other side and built a bridge to span the tide. Span the tide, the meaning is given on page number 13. Go across the tide. It means in this chasm, so many tides were there, and of course, across the tide, he went to the other side. And when he reached to the other side, he had started to build a bridge. जैसे ही वो उस साइड में पहुंचा, उसने ब्रिज बनाना शुरू कर दिया. And why he did that? The reason is very clear. Because he met one of the person who was a young one, and he don't have the experience to cross the chasm because he was the new pilgrim, and of course this is very dangerous for him to cross the bridge in the night. So he understood that he needs to do something for the young fellow who was inexperienced. So the young pilgrim was actually inexperienced. He don't have the experience to cross the bridge. So what is the meaning of the first stanza? Have you understood the meaning of the first stanza? Apparently, this is the story of the pilgrims, and one of the old person was there who had successfully crossed the chasm, and after reaching to the other side, he paused there, he stopped there, and he had started to build a bridge. And this is the apparent meaning of the first stanza. But let me tell you what is the exact meaning, what is the intentional meaning of the first stanza. We all know it very well that we are growing up in our families, and in our family we have the elders, we have the members, those have the experience of the life, and they are always guiding to us. Without their guidance, it's not possible to achieve the success in our life. Whenever we are in problem, whenever we are in trouble, that time we're always seeking the help of them, and we're always asking the advice of them. And of course, they have the solution on each and every problem, because in their age they have faced the similar kind of the problems. So they're always showing us the path which is good for us, and by walking on this particular path we got the destination where we would like to reach. So we need to always look on the bright side of life, because this old man is thinking about the person who is young, who was inexperienced. When he reached there, when he crossed the chasm, that time he was not afraid of the problems because he has the experience. But for the young man, this is not the simple task to cross the chasm. So he understood that that young man always needs the help of the old man because they have the experience. So this is my suggestion to you: whenever you have any kind of the problem in your life, you have to take the advice of your elders, maybe your grandfather, maybe your grandmother. So you need to take the advice of them. So with this great message, we are going to stop here today. In the next video session, we are going to continue with the remaining part of the poem, and we will discuss about the questions and answers which are based on the poem. So read this poem once again. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you everyone.